So next up, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Deb Zawisza. She comes from Novarica, is a insurance professional, 30 years experience, delivering technology solutions for financial services, both in corporate and consulting environments. So with that, I'll turn it over to Deborah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm with Novarica, but prior to Novarica, I was with Travelers for 8 years as CIO of claims. Prior to that, I was CIO and CTO for the Phoenix companies, which is now Nassau Re. So my roots are in Hartford, and both fantastic companies. So very proud to be here. Dancing? Not my forte, ask my husband. So just a little bit about Novarica. Novarica is a technology, insurance, research and consulting firm. Our whole focus is on technology and research for the property casualty and life and annuity companies. So we work with over 100 CIOs as well as over 300 CIOs as part of our research council. So anyone would like more information on that, our research council is free, and we'd love to have you become members. So from a Novarica standpoint, we think about InsurTechs in 4 categories. We call them the ABCDs of InsurTech. And my talk today is on winning with analytics arms dealers, which are the A of our ABCDs of InsurTech. B are beneficial bots, C are creative carriers, and D is digital disruptors. But I am going to focus on the analytics arms dealers for today. We categorize InsurTechs into these 4 broad areas, and we did research last year, a research report that covered over 150 InsurTechs. Our current report is under development, and right now we have over 300 InsurTechs sitting in these categories. So folks evolve from it. They grow into be non-InsurTechs, into kind of bigger companies. People pivot, people change. They change how they think about what their approach or marketing position is. So we definitely see a lot of landscape shifting in this InsurTech world, but we do believe strongly that it's an important category of how insurance carriers need to be thinking about their business. So how do you win with analytics arms dealers? So these are the folks that have a lot of third-party data, artificial intelligence, machine learning. They're doing some really unique things in the InsurTech space. So we've got 3 things for you guys to think about in terms of how to win with them. So the first is data is king, or in my case, queen, because I always wanted to be a queen, but I'm not. But really working with an InsurTech to understand where are they getting their data from? How are they sourcing it? It's important to think about that data in relation to carrier data. Carrier data alone without third-party data, whether from traditional sources like Lexis or Verisk or CoreLogic, has its own inherent bias in it. So part of our perspective is ensuring that your data is broadened with third-party, either traditionally or through non-traditional sources, is a really, really key strategy to think about leveraging an analytics arms dealer. The second strategy is try it out. So the best way to learn about what may work for your problem, your solution, your company, is to think of, and everyone's got opportunities out there, think of a problem that maybe one of these companies can help you with. And try it out. Learn from it. We find that InsurTechs partnering with carriers are really the best, get the best outcome. Carrier brings strong industry expertise and knowledge. InsurTechs bring a totally different way to think about the problems that they're faced with. And when you put the 2 of them together, it's a pretty powerful combination. So try it out. You both may pivot from where you originally started, but don't be hesitant to do that. The third strategy is don't go for a moonshot. So moonshots, really big things, we're going to do some really big innovations. Typically those things take longer and they're much more likely to fail. So where we've seen a lot of success in working with analytics arms dealers is really where carriers have a good idea, a good opportunity, they build on it, and they build some success from taking that first step rather than trying to take that big final step. So within analytics arms dealers, we think about the companies in three categories. The first is new data. So who is out there bringing a new kind of data, a new perspective to the data, to the landscape? And this is just a smattering of people that deal in this space. So want to talk about one that's probably not so relevant that people may think about, and that's a company called Indigo. So Indigo actually is an InsurTech startup. They're a sustainable agricultural business from a startup standpoint, and they use biometric technology to be able to identify growth, sustainability patterns of various types of organic farming. So why am I talking about this in front of a bunch of insurance folks? It's important because that data is providing insight into a business which property casualty carriers who cover those kind of risks can also take advantage of. So that's an area where it's a new kind of data. It can be pivoted from industry to industry to really provide a different kind of insight. The second piece we think of when we look at analytics arms dealers are companies that are providing new insights. So they might be using medical reports or legal opinions to really eke out that unstructured text data, form it into data that can be acted on, and provide new insights. So as an example, Predicate is a startup that deals with statutory information, legal opinions, and they're trying to figure out how to predict the impact that that kind of legislation or information can have on a pending litigation for property casualty companies. So again, taking kind of data that everyone has, but turning it into something different that's from a non-traditional standpoint. The third thread that we think about with analytics arms dealers are new and improved outcomes. So these startups, along with others, are combining things like artificial intelligence, machine learning, as well as new sources of data to really predict a different kind of outcome for underwriting, risk, fraud, et cetera, across the life and annuity and property casualty space. So they're taking a piece of that traditional process and they're disrupting it by thinking about it differently. Lapidus, can't really say that correctly, is actually taking, using selfies to help determine things like body mass index and other kind of physical issues for, am I done? Oops. Physical ailments for life underwriting. So making it a really simple process for those of you who are familiar with life underwriting. A lot of fluids today, people don't really like that. So really trying to transition to a different way of providing insight to underwriting for a carrier. So how do you win? One of the things we hear a lot from carriers is, can't we do this ourselves? So we've got data scientists, we know AI, we know ML, we should just be able to do this ourselves. And our point of view is the winning combination is a partner, whether it's InsurTech or another partner, with a carrier. You both bring different kinds of expertise that does really help to create a winning combination. So eventually everyone can do everything themselves, but we find in this community, it's the collaboration and networking that really creates a different result. Really select a good use case to start. I mentioned this earlier. If you start with a really big, complicated thing, it's probably not going to work out well. It may prove something in the long run, but you're really trying to build on success and learn from your little failures along the way, not invest in a big failure up front. And then you can bring in more complex challenges. So once you get a win, you get a good foundation, you've pivoted to the right kinds of things, you can continue to extend and expand your capability, both internally as well as with a partner. That's it.
All right, thanks, Deborah.